If you've ever felt dizzy and tried to do the right thing, you might have accidentally made it worse. That's because dizziness isn't one single problem. It can come from your inner ear, your blood pressure, your neck, your vision, anxiety, or even dehydration. So the same well-meant response can help one person and backfire for another. In this video, I'll walk you through 7 common dizziness mistakes people make, usually out of fear or frustration. And for each one, you'll hear a safer, more practical alternative. The goal is not to self-diagnose. The goal is to stop feeding the cycle that keeps dizziness hanging around. If your dizziness is new, severe, or scary, you should get checked. But if you're dealing with recurring episodes, these patterns matter. Let's start with the first mistake, because it's the one almost everyone makes. Moving to slide 2. Mistake number 1 is treating every dizzy feeling like an emergency. It makes sense. Dizziness feels threatening. But when you instantly assume the worst, your stress response turns on. Your breathing gets faster, your muscles tense, and your brain becomes hyper-focused on every sensation. That can amplify lightheadedness and make you feel unsteady even if the original trigger was mild. A more helpful approach is to do a quick, calm check-in. Ask, did this start suddenly and intensely, or is it building gradually? Are there red flags like fainting, chest pain, severe headache, new weakness, trouble speaking, or new vision loss? If yes, that's a reason to seek urgent care. If no, shift into stabilize mode. Sit down, fix your gaze on one point, and take slow breaths. The point is to reduce the adrenaline layer that can stack on top of dizziness and make it feel twice as bad. Moving to slide 3, mistake number 2 is staying perfectly still for days because you're afraid of triggering dizziness. Rest can be useful for a short window, but for many common balance issues, especially inner ear-related dizziness, too much avoidance can train your brain to stay sensitive. Your balance system works by combining inner ear signals, vision, and body position sense. When you stop moving, your brain gets less practice reconciling those signals. Then when you finally do move, normal motion can feel overwhelming. A better alternative is graded movement. That means you move a little, then recover, then repeat. Start with safe basics like sitting up slowly, standing with support, or short walks in a clear space. If turning your head is a trigger, do small turns first, not big fast ones. The aim is gentle exposure, not pushing through misery. If symptoms spike hard or you're at risk of falling, get professional guidance. Moving to slide 4. Mistake number 3 is moving too fast right after you've been sitting or lying down. A lot of people describe this as a head rush, and it can happen when your blood pressure doesn't adjust quickly enough. It's common with dehydration, long periods of sitting, heat, and sometimes certain health conditions. If you pop up quickly, your brain may briefly get less blood flow, and you feel lightheaded or wobbly. The fix is boring but effective. Change positions in stages. Before standing, sit at the edge of the bed for a moment. Pump your ankles, tighten and release your calves, and take 2 slow breaths. Then stand up using a stable surface. If you get dizzy, sit back down and try again more slowly. Also notice patterns, morning episodes, after hot showers, after skipping meals. Those clues help a clinician evaluate what's going on. Moving to slide 5. Mistake number 4 is trying random dizziness maneuvers you saw online without knowing what type of dizziness you have. Some maneuvers can be very helpful for a specific inner ear issue called BPPV, where tiny crystals shift and trigger brief spinning with certain positions. But if your dizziness is not BPPV, doing the wrong maneuver can make you feel worse, more nauseated, or just more anxious. Even with BPPV, the side and canal matter, so the technique needs to match your pattern. A safer alternative is to first describe your dizziness accurately. Is it spinning, rocking, floating, or faint? Does it last seconds, minutes, or hours? Is it triggered by rolling in bed, looking up, or busy visual environments? With that information, a clinician or vestibular therapist can test and guide you. If you do try exercises, start gently and stop if symptoms escalate sharply. Moving to slide 6. Mistake number 5 is underfueling and underhydrating, especially when you feel nauseated. It's easy to skip meals because you don't want to throw up. But low blood sugar and dehydration can both worsen lightheadedness and make your balance feel fragile. Even mild dehydration can affect heart rate and blood pressure responses when you stand or walk. A practical alternative is small, steady intake. Sip fluids regularly rather than chugging. If plain water is hard, try something with a bit of salt and sugar, or a light broth, depending on what you tolerate. For food, think simple and frequent, like toast, crackers, yogurt, rice, bananas, or a small sandwich. Also watch caffeine and alcohol, because they can worsen sleep and hydration for some people. If you're vomiting, can't keep fluids down, or feel faint, that's a reason to seek medical help. Moving to slide 7. Mistake number 6 is staring at screens or pushing through visually busy environments when your system is already overloaded. Many people don't realize dizziness can be driven by visual motion sensitivity. Fast scrolling, rapid camera cuts, gaming, or even walking through a crowded store can make your brain work harder to stabilize your sense of space. When your inner ear is irritated, your brain may lean more on vision. Then, too much visual input can tip you into dizziness, nausea, or a foggy feeling. A better approach is to reduce visual load temporarily and then rebuild tolerance. Use the 20-20-20 idea. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Lower brightness, increase text size, and avoid scrolling while walking. In public spaces, pause and focus on a stable object. If this pattern is strong, vestibular rehab can help retrain the system gradually. Moving to slide 8. Mistake number 7 is bracing your neck and shoulders all day, especially if you're anxious about getting dizzy. People often hold their head stiff to stay steady. The problem is that neck tension can create its own dizziness-like sensations, tight muscles, headaches, and altered position signals from the joints in your neck. It can also reduce natural head movement, which your balance system needs to stay calibrated. A safer alternative is to aim for relaxed stability. Think long neck, heavy shoulders, soft jaw. Do brief posture resets a few times a day. Roll your shoulders slowly, turn your head gently side to side, and take one slow breath as you do it. If you notice dizziness linked to neck pain, recent injury, or headaches, get evaluated. The goal isn't to blame the neck for everything. It's to remove one common amplifier that keeps people stuck. Moving to slide 9. Now let's connect the dots, because dizziness often becomes a loop. You feel dizzy, you get scared, you stop moving, you tense up, you sleep poorly, and you watch your symptoms constantly. That combination can make your nervous system more reactive. And then even small triggers, like turning your head, walking into bright light, or standing up quickly, feel bigger than they should. A helpful reframe is to separate the trigger from the amplifier. The trigger might be inner ear irritation, low hydration, migraine tendency, or blood pressure shifts. The amplifier is often stress, avoidance, and constant monitoring. You can't always control the trigger immediately, but you can usually reduce the amplifier. Pick one change you can do consistently for a week. Slower position changes, steady hydration, short walks, or screen breaks. Consistency matters more than intensity, and if you're not improving, that's useful information to bring to a clinician. Moving to slide 10. Here's a simple way to track dizziness without obsessing over it. Use a quick log for 1 to 2 weeks. Write down what the sensation was: spinning, rocking, lightheaded, or off balance. Note how long it lasted. Then list the top trigger you suspect, like rolling in bed, standing up, screens, stress, or skipping meals. Finally, rate intensity from 1 to 10 and note what helped, even a little. This kind of tracking does 2 things. First, it helps you spot patterns that are otherwise invisible. Second, it gives a healthcare professional something concrete to work with, which often speeds up the right testing. Keep it short so it doesn't turn into rumination. You're collecting clues, not building a case against your body. And if you notice your symptoms are getting more frequent, more intense, or paired with new neurological signs, that's a reason to get evaluated sooner. Moving to slide 11. Let's talk briefly about when dizziness should be treated as urgent. Most dizziness is not dangerous, but some patterns need immediate attention. Seek urgent care if dizziness comes with fainting, chest pain, severe shortness of breath, or a new irregular heartbeat feeling. Also take it seriously if there's a sudden severe headache, new weakness or numbness on one side, trouble speaking, confusion, or new trouble walking. Sudden hearing loss, especially in one ear, is another red flag that should be evaluated quickly. And if you hit your head and then develop worsening dizziness, don't wait it out. For non-urgent but persistent dizziness, especially if it lasts weeks, keeps returning, or limits your daily life, consider seeing a clinician who evaluates vestibular issues, migraines, and blood pressure factors. Getting the category right is often the turning point. It changes what helpful actually looks like for you. Moving to slide 12. So let's recap the 7 mistakes in one clean pass. 1. Panicking and letting adrenaline pile on. 2. Avoiding movement so long that your balance system stays hypersensitive. 3. Standing up too fast and triggering a blood pressure drop. 4. Doing random maneuvers without matching them to your dizziness pattern. 5. Skipping food and fluids, which worsens lightheadedness and weakness. 6. Overloading your vision with screens and busy environments when your system is already strained. 7. Bracing your neck and shoulders, which can add tension-based dizziness and headaches. If you want a simple starting plan, choose 2 habits: slower position changes and steady hydration. Then add 1 gentle daily movement routine you can tolerate. If you'd like, I can also make a follow-up that breaks down the most common dizziness types, spinning versus lightheadedness versus rocking, and what usually points to each. For now, tell me in the comments, does your dizziness feel more like spinning or more like lightheadedness? And if this was helpful, subscribe for more calm, practical health explanations. This information is not a substitute for medical advice.